Most of the stuff she's about to tell you is a lie. I'm telling you right now. She kissed me so sloppy.
What?
I was like, yo.
You fucking liar.
I was like, ew. Maybe we could try this again another time. But this shit, ugh.
If you are watching this video, then you are interested in knowing how did my husband and I meet. So my husband's name is Greg, for those of you that may not know.
Hi guys, so I am Greg, Juju's hubby.
We've known each other for close to 10 years. Before I met my husband, I was in a relationship. We were at the point of breaking up. So I was basically doing me, right? So I'm over here talking to some other guy and he invited me to a party. That's where I met Greg. Did I lose you? All right, let me give you a little bit more in detail. Let me backtrack a little bit. We were always around the same crowd, but never actually saw each other. We never bumped heads, so to say, or made eye contact. So there's this place called Maximo's when we were growing up that we used to go to for like holiday parties and stuff. And a funny story is that we were actually in the same room and never seen each other. My cousin was dancing with his friend and he was basically cheering on his friend and I was cheering on my cousin or dancing with somebody. My memory is terrible, but we were that close to each other, maybe like 2-3 people apart, but we had no clue. Fast forward years later, it was 2011. I was talking to some guy at the time and
Nothing serious.
He invited me to a party and I decided to go with my friends. It was August 19, 2011.
We met at a pool party, right? It was a mutual friend. She got invited, I got invited. All right, cool.
He walks in, lit as hell with his friends or whatever.
It was my B-Day that day, so I was lit. I ain't gonna lie, I was lit as hell. I forgot what we was drinking. What was drinking? Pinnacle or some shit? Something like that.
He was always drinking Pinnacle.
Or vodka. It was something, but I was at that point, it probably was like, what, like 10 o'clock, 11? I was pissy drunk at that point. So we pulled up, we there. I don't remember too much about it. I think one of my mans, they was talking to Ju and her friends. And then, you know, I had to put my 2 cents in it. I don't remember what I said too much about, but I walked in. You know, I told them it was my B-Day or whatever. And they started calling me Leo for whatever reason. I don't believe in that zodiac stuff, by the way. That's a whole nother video. Nah, me stop. I'm acting like this. I'm acting like this.
Channel?
I'm acting like this is my channel.
We were chatting about nonsense. What stuck to me was that Greg was a Leo. Not that I had something for Leos or anything like that, but it was just what we ended up calling him that night. We was calling him Leo. Fast forward.
So then, sis asked me for my number.
I bagged him. Basically. I was like, let me get your number.
And then, you know, we went our separate ways that night. She went inside to go dance. I think I did too, but not with each other.
It was a backyard uptown somewhere in the Bronx. And there was like an indoor area and an outdoor area. So I was in the indoor area where the music was at and I was dancing with the guy or whatever, right? And I looked to the left and I peeped Greg coming in to where the party was at, right? And I'm like, ugh. I kind of looked the other way or whatever. And next thing you know, all I felt was a tap on my leg. And I was like, nah, this can't be him. He not doing this right now. So I keep on, I'm ignoring it or whatever, looking the other way, and I felt it again, and I'm just like, he dead ass. So I look.
And she was in the middle of dancing. I tapped her like, you feel me? I gotta let my nuts hang. You're not about to dance with my future wife. She ain't know it, but I did. No, I didn't. I was lit. So I had to tap her like, yo, I'm leaving. And then I left.
I'm just like, bye. Like, it was weird. It was so weird. I think like 2 days passed or whatever, and then I called him.
The next day, I woke up. I was still hungover. First of all, I didn't even wake up yet from last night. All I hear is the house phone ringing. Picked up the phone and it was sis. My sis Juju called me and shit. So I'm like, hello. She said, hey, what's up? I'm like, yo, who this? She was like, it's Juju from last night. I was like, oh, what's up?
Wow.
I was like, oh, what's up? Like, how you doing? What's up? I ain't gonna lie, I didn't even think he was gonna call me. She was like, why not? I was like, shit, I don't know. Females usually don't be calling the dudes back.
Why would I ask for your number if I know I'm not gonna want to talk to you?
Shit, I don't know. We was talking a little bit, but then she had to hang up. She went under the train or whatever. In New York, you know, the subways go on the ground and stuff. So, yeah, I don't remember too much after that. Oh, supposedly in that time frame too, she had ran out in a hurricane and just running around getting soaked or whatever for whatever reason.
Wait, what?
I went to the building next door because they was doing a little hurricane, little shit.
What? There was a hurricane?
Yeah, it was a little hurricane.
It was. I'm about to search it up. In 2011, there was a hurricane in New York City.
But it was like a small hurricane. It wasn't nothing crazy. 3-week period, we didn't see each other since that first day.
Hurricane Irene.
And so it was, right?
Hold on. August 28, 2011. Wow, you got good memory.
Yeah.
I don't remember running outside.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you told me. I don't know.
What?
Yeah.
Wait, they was having a hurricane party where you went?
Huh?
Who does that?
So, guys, this is a little spice for y'all too. During the time, I had a girlfriend. I did have a girlfriend during this whole time.
So it was official.
What, me and Shorty? I mean, she was my little Shorty, whatever. But she was, I don't know, that vibe was off for me after a while, and I was just looking for anything to move on type shit. You feel me? So
we kind of were in the same situation in a way.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
But I mean it. So
it wasn't official for me though.
With me and her, I wasn't at a point where I'm just like, yo, I'm tired of this bitch. It wasn't like that. It was regular. Like, but then I met you, and I'm just like, thank you. Next.
Wow. When did you break up with her? That's what I want to know.
I'm gonna tell you. Hold on. So there was a Central American parade. For those of you that don't know, in New York, there's a parade and a festival that goes on this one day every year, right before school start, for Central America. So like countries like Honduras, Guatemala, Belize, like those countries, they have a little festival for that. So, you know, I was there, me and my peoples. She was there with her peoples. I didn't have a phone, so I'm still trying to look for sis.
Only I have a phone, so I can't call her and be like, oh, I'm right here or whatever. So I pull up to the park. I see his cousin, and I ask his cousin, like, yo, where's your cousin at? Because, again, we were around the same crowd. I knew parts of his family before I even met him. So I already knew this cousin, and I knew that they were cousins after I met him, and we had conversations about it.
I was walking around. My cousin had walked up to me like, yo, Juju looking for you. I was like, oh, word, where's she at? She was like, she was over there. So I went over there. She wasn't there. So it was just a whole goose chase. So then after a while, I'm like, I guess I ain't gonna see her. There's mad people here. So yeah. So I was literally on my way out, and then she had walked up to me. Because I was standing on the hill, literally probably like one of the only people standing there. So you couldn't miss me type shit.
So all I heard was, the sun was shining right on your head.
For real. So then we chopping it up, and then I was telling her, you know, they're going to have this party tonight, you know, I'd like for you to pull up.
And I'm just like, okay, cool. Mind you, I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to be able to go.
You know, we go our ways. I with my peoples, we chilling basically that whole time until the night, and then we end up going to that party.
I go home. For some reason, that night was lit on my block. There was a whole party. My brothers came over with their girlfriends, and they were all outside playing music with the cars or whatever. And I'm like, damn, there's a lot going on. How am I gonna dodge all of this to be able to go to this party? And mind you, I was kind of in a
Situation.
and it was a long-term relationship, but we were at the point of breaking up. We were technically broken up, but it was kind of one of those things where we would keep trying to like talk, but we would end up arguing, and it was just like, oh, forget you again type of thing, like a lot of back and forth. So boom. So this guy is outside. There was a party going on down the block, but he didn't want me to go. And I'm just like, why? Like, he's like, oh, nah, you ain't about to be in there. And mind you, I'm like, we ain't together, so why does it matter? Like, boom, 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 boom. But then it's like, nah. It was one of those stupid things, right? So we arguing, whatever, and I'm just like, forget you. And then mind you, my brothers is up the block. And I'm just like, I hope I'm not making a whole scene right now, because then we gonna have a problem, right? So boom, I leave him. I go back up the block. Next thing you know, there's shots being fired. And I'm just like, what the heck? So everyone's running, and there's a whole ruckus going on. And then I end up inside my building, and my mom comes down to the lobby, and we all in the lobby. And I'm like, Mom, I gotta go somewhere. She's like, no, where you going? They was just shooting outside. You not going nowhere. I'm just like, Mom, I gotta go. So I went upstairs, I changed, and I left. Like, I made it my business. And I'm so like, I'm telling you, it was God, because my mom, any other day, she would not have let me walk out that door. But for some reason, that day, she was just like, whatever. She says she's going, she's going. It was just God, I promise you, because it was so many things that happened that was supposed to prevent me from going to that party, but I went. So I pull up, I walk into the party or whatever.
You know, young Greg, if you know Greg, you know I was lit, bro. If you see me most of the time, I was drunk. So I was drunk at this point. I'm at this party or whatever. So then I'm in the party, dancing by myself, with my little bottle in my hand. And then I see a little shrimp just walk up to me and shit. I'm like,
Greg over there with a whole bottle of Pinnacle whipped, talking about I saved you some. Drunk as ever.
I'm like, yo, who this? And then, you know, end up being her. I was like, oh shit, I got this bottle wait for you. And that shit, I ain't had that bottle wait for her. I was almost done with it, and she came right on time. So I was like, just take the rest.
He left me like this much, and then years later, come to find out, he confessed that he didn't really save me any. I just so happened to catch him right before he almost finished it, right? So he was trying to be slick or whatever. We didn't really last that long in that party.
We went outside or whatever, just spent some little quality time in the quiet, you feel me? Went to the bus station.
I was trying to talk to him, but he wasn't really talking. He was drunk.
And then, you know, I don't know what came over me. I was lit, so I had to pull a cornball move.
So he's like, oh, what's that over there? And I look like a dummy. And he right here.
She looked.
I turn around, and he all up in my throat with his tongue. Nasty. I was just like... Oh, okay.
Listen, I don't know about this.
And that's some type of shit you see in movies, by the way. She made a face like in disgust almost, like. But I was like, man. In my head, I thought I did a good job. You feel me? But I guess I didn't.
And he was smoking a Black Mile. I was just like, ooh, So our first kiss was not a fairy tale. It was not cute at all. It was terrible. But he definitely made up for it, because we would not be here today. We would not.
Like I said, a couple days later, she ended up meeting me after school. She took the bus to where my school was at. My school's in Washington Heights. She met me at the bus stop. Then we took the bus back to my block. And then, you know, we was kicking it and all that. Little something for me. We sat in the basketball court for a little bit on Webster. And then we went inside a little project building for me. Then I laid ass on the floor in the project building.
That's some dirty shit.
Hey, I was some dirty hood nigga, so I'm doing dirty hood nigga shit for me. So
Yeah.
we laid her down in the project building, smooshed her up a little bit, and then yeah, I made amends.
And I was just like, oh, okay. All right, he's sober now. All right, we could do this. This is more like it. Okay. That was basically our story of how we met. Yeah, we here. We still here. A good almost 10 years later, we still here.
So yeah, that's the first half. Oh, not even first half. That's the first part of that story. You feel me? You know, 10 years later, we're still here. Now, if you want to know the first time we spanked, hey, that's a different
Stop.
video.
Turn it off.
All right, guys, that's my side of the story. I'm out of here, nigga.
Make sure to stay connected with me by following me on my Instagram at @IAM_Juju2. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this story time. Let me know in the comment section below if you want a little bit more story times on my channel. I could definitely tell you guys a few stories. And if you like this look, go ahead and hit the thumbs up. And of course, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and that bell so that you won't miss my next video.